Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Almost 30 podcast. It's Lindsey Simsick to be specific, and I'm so excited you're here. Thank you for choosing us, supporting us. I know there's a lot of options out there, and we don't take it lightly. If you're new to the podcast, this is a place where we support you in your unique evolution, giving you conversations, tools, insights, ahas, laughs, relatable stories that just make you feel less alone and more empowered to really grow through your entire life. I love y'all. We do these solo episodes a couple times a month, and Krista and I bring things that we have processed in our own lives and think that it would be beneficial to bring to a larger conversation with you all on the podcast. Questions we have, topics that interest us. So today I'm going to be talking about patience. And it comes in the wake of a period of time where I felt really impatient, and this was quite recently. And I thankfully, I'm at the point in my life where I have some awareness around these like heightened emotions and how um they've got some information for me. So I've just been doing a lot of reflecting and even some research on patience. So I want to share with you today what my soul has to say about patience because she spoke to me about it. I want to talk to you about the neuroscience of patience. I want to talk to you about like how patience can show up in our lives and how we can kind of walk through those moments where we feel incredibly impatient and how we can just come to a more centered place of patience, acceptance, and presence. Because I know this is a very relatable feeling, and it shows up for each one of us in different ways at different times, through different moods, you name it. I first want to share what my soul said about patience because I think it's really interesting. I soul journal on a regular basis. If you're new to kind of what I talk about, I love this practice. I was introduced to this practice by Elisa Romeo, who wrote the book Meet Your Soul. And it's been just such a life changing practice. It's simple, it's powerful. Basically, at a high level, what you do is you drop yourself into a meditative state. You have a pen and paper nearby, connecting with your soul, the essence of your soul in your meditative state. And then on paper, greeting your soul. Maybe it's like, hi, soul, or maybe they have a name. And I always thank myself for always showing me and reminding me of what's true. And then I'll ask questions and I write down those questions and then I put pen to paper and just allow my soul to come forward and speak through me and onto paper. And it always blows my mind. I swear to you. Sometimes I'll sit down. I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. This is stupid. This is real stupid. And then I see what she has to say, and I'm like, wow, damn, okay, touche. So I wanted to share what she had to say. So, first question I asked my soul was, why are we collectively so impatient? And she said this: the slow was lost long ago. Immediacy is like a drug. Once people felt the hit of immediate satisfaction, connection, etc., they became addicted. The slow is connected to our history, so much of which is summarized or lost. To build what you now experience took patience, it took process, it took collapse and rebuilding, death and rebirth. So I just loved how my soul was like focusing on this irreverence we have for the slow. And how, the honoring of it has been lost and how we try to get around the process. We really want that like quick solution. Let's get there. How do I get there sooner? How do I make less mistakes? How do I just get on that like clear shot path? And that's not always the plan or really the purpose at all. Then I asked, what is patience? She says, patience is really a verb, it is a practice. Patience is being here now for what is here now while holding a vision in your heart. Patience is a knowing that all that was and all that will be is in the now. It is a knowing and honoring of the order of things both the timing and the energetic situating. Patience is more than just sitting and waiting and biting your nails. LOL. Patience is regal and royal. Patience is a deep breath in and a letting go. Patience for oneself and one's own process is self compassion. Patience is ownership of your own discomfort and self soothing through the intensity. Yeah, so many pieces of this I love. I love it's a verb because oftentimes we think of, okay, I got to obtain patience. I have a lack of patience. Okay, I guess that might be true in theory, but it's not a lack of a thing. It is a forgetting of the power of this practice of patience and how it centers us in our body and how it connects us to all that is. If we feel into, and I want you to practice this as I'm saying it, if we feel into the frequency of impatience, can you, and maybe you need to close your eyes, can you feel into the signature of that frequency? Can you feel its texture? Can you feel its vibration? Can you feel the color? Can you feel the space, the density or non density? Can you feel all those things and just kind of take in its signature? For me, impatience is kind of this unsteady, unsettled energy. It is not looking inward. Impatience is looking all around, kind of eyes darting. Impatience feels kind of jagged in texture. Impatient feels um, ungrounded. Impatience feels very far from center. And so this is merely a forgetting. If you're feeling like, damn, I'm an impatient person, I've really been impatient lately, do not worry. This is not like a permanent fixture of your personality. This is something that you can practice and become better at and really become more aware and just really remember that this is like the center of your being is patience. Sometimes we'll talk about God on the podcast and just know that like when I say God, you can fill in the blank for what you believe, universe, source, whatever you believe. But I was watching a sermon the other day on the perfect patience of God. And I just thought it was so freaking powerful. Um, and how the patience of God is the perfect patience. And oftentimes we think that, we've done something wrong or bad, and we think that, God might punish us or feel differently about us. And Lord, God is, source is, universe is so patient of you, of anything and everything. And so that's nice to remind ourselves of, right? But I also got to thinking about how patient, God, universe, source is in the creation of so many things that we experience. The creation of uh, the Amazon rainforest, right? The creation of the human beings that we are and see around us today and the evolution that needed to take place, the patience of that process to get to where we are now, and just kind of that universal, capital universal patience that is actually so much a part of so many natural things. There's really proof everywhere. There's really proof everywhere of this universal patience and how powerful it is. In this sermon, this pastor was also talking about, we're put places by God, by universe, by source, right? And we immediately just try to wiggle our way out. Like, just imagine human beings all over, just kind of like wiggling our way out of like where we were very intentionally placed. Just because we're like, we're doubtful, we're uncomfortable, we're like, what the heck is happening? Feeling the intensity of the unknown, which feels sometimes very unsafe. We're just like wiggling our way out of it. How do we get out of it? How do we get out of it? How do I find my way around it? And we forget that we were placed here very intentionally. Nothing is an accident. I believe that nothing is by accident. And when I really anchored in that truth, oh man, I experience a lot less friction in my life. A lot less friction. So when I find myself in a moment of agitation, insane impatience, and just feeling frustrated, uh, for example, let me give you a silly example that is so poignant because it's about patience. Um, just before recording this solo episode, over the course of a few hours, I sat down to do this episode probably about 5 or 6 times. Each time, I forgot to do something like press record on the video, press record on the audio. I was rambling in a way that was so unsettling. I was like, this blows. I need to ground, right? And so I'm feeling this discomfort. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm insanely impatient with myself and just kind of the order of my day and just kind of what I've got to do. And I take a moment as I'm on a brief walk to kind of like shake off this impatience. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how beautifully perfect. I am about to record a solo episode on patience. Being given the opportunity to practice patience in these very now moments and observing myself kind of get like very uncomfortable. How do I fix this? Just being so wiggly. I'm like, damn, that's it. This was placed in my path to experience for a very particular purpose to be able to practice patience and practice what I'm talking about here. So it was a laughable moment, but also like, wow, yeah, it's just so true. We're never placed anywhere by accident. So see if that truth can anchor you even further in the now so that your impatience for what isn't yet can dissolve a little bit because your knowing of how purposeful where you are now is hopefully gives a hope for the path forward and what is coming, even if it's not clear. But it must be good because anywhere you go and anywhere you're placed has a purpose. So I just thought that was so profound. So profound. Do you have any photos that you've just been dying to put on something, whether it's on a canvas or maybe on a pillow or on a mug? I'm sure we have a bunch of photos. They just kind of like are in our phone and we're not doing anything with them. So I wanted to introduce you to canvasprints.com. They make the highest quality canvas prints at affordable prices and the interface is so easy to use. So like I said, not only canvas prints, but photo blankets, pillows, mugs, puzzles, coasters, ornaments, hoodies, acrylic blocks, and so much more. All you have to do is just upload your image, choose your canvas size or choose your product and check out. That is it. That is it. Plus, they have outstanding customer service with 100% money back guarantee. They have quick shipping. Most orders ship within 3 to 5 business days, which is awesome. And again, the quality is exceptional. I'm really excited for you to finally put your just adored photos somewhere that you can see them more often. Pillows, totes, coasters, photo puzzles, hoodies, mouse pads, t-shirts, cutting boards. Come on. Go to canvasprints.com. They have a special offer just for you. When you use the code almost30, you'll get 25% off your entire order of canvas prints, canvas wall displays, metal prints, photo tiles, photo blankets, and pillows, and much more. You can find the perfect holiday gift for everyone on your list and save with this amazing offer. That's canvasprints.com. Use the code almost30 for 25% off your entire order. It's no secret, in fact, it's science, that when we move our bodies produce mood boosting endorphins. Working out, movement, getting our heart rate up, just moving energy through our bodies is so good for us. And especially approaching a season like the holidays, I feel like there's no better gift than to support people in whatever movement practice that they have, whether it's running or yoga or walking or really anything in between. And my tried and true brand that I love for this type of movement and athleisure is Lululemon. For years and years, I actually used to be a Lululemon ambassador years and years ago, and I've continued to be loyal to this brand. I love the fit. I love the quality. I love the colors. I love the styles. And I'm excited to introduce you to some of their really cool styles for winter. So the Down for It All jacket is such a great gift for anyone in your life who likes to do a walk or run or any type of workout outside. It has this glide fabric, which is windproof and water resistant. It has lots of stretch, 4-way stretch. It's breathable, but it's really, really warm, even if it gets a little wet from your sweat. It has a 700 fill power goose down and provides just a really lightweight warmth that comes in a bunch of different colors. I also am obsessed with the fast and free high rise tight. I get the 28 inch, but they have a 25 inch. But this is really, really great for just providing support when you work out. I will go on a run. I do about 3 miles a couple times a week. And I love, love, love these tights. So they're incredible holiday selection is waiting for you. And again, the colors are just so yummy. These make great gifts for him and for her. So check out lululemon.com. That's right, lululemon.com, LULULEMON.com. Set joy in motion with the best gifts at lululemon.com. I want to talk about how this shows up. It shows up in different ways, patients, and I want to just categorize it in 2 buckets. That is incredibly high level general, but I feel like this will make it easier to talk about and to understand in this conversation. So for me, I feel like patience is the impatience shows up, and the opportunity for patience to be practiced shows up in the immediate trigger, in the now, in kind of like the daily goings on, the daily hassles or conflicts, those tests, like in the moment. And then there's this impatience that lives in another bucket that is related to how our mind convinces us that what is not yet should be right now, and that there's a problem with that. And so impatience builds, and we become less focused on the process and more obsessed with what we don't have yet. And man, oh man, how much pain and frustration this causes. But we do it all the time. I had an impatience couple weeks recently around pregnancy. It is something I am so looking forward to, and I know deeply in my soul is going to happen in the perfect timing. I really, on a soul level, know that, trust that, believe that wholly. And then there's this slice of me that's like, speed it up. Let's go. What's happening? Can I just know? Like, there's this impatient little gremlin trying to steal my joy in this moment. I just recently got married. There's so much to celebrate, to enjoy, to be present for. And I'm on to the next, these couple weeks I'm talking about. Like, I was just like very, very impatient. And it's interesting because I connected with the soul wanting to come in eventually. And there was this feeling of like wink, like, mm-hmm, yeah, this is one of your growth points that you're going to navigate before I come in. And this soul has been setting me many, many, many opportunities and lessons. I'll probably do an episode on spirit babies eventually, when the time is right, LOL. But I really I heeded that message. I'm like, okay, what is this impatience really? What is this impatience really? So to review, it's that impatience of the now moment, of the instant triggers, of the, ugh, I'm annoyed. I'm impatient. Why aren't you here on time? Why can't I get this right when I record? My partner didn't do the dishes. What the heck? I always have to do the dishes, undo the dishes. And then there is the impatience that kind of stretches across from the now all the way to the future and creates this belief that what is now is not enough and you must focus on what you don't have instead of just being present and being immersed in the process of what is becoming and what you are becoming. Does that feel accurate, right? For most of your impatiences? Okay. So in thinking about this, I came upon some research that I thought was incredibly interesting. And this research, I'll just very briefly summarize. And unfortunately, yes, there was mice involved in this research, but it was basically testing the patient's effects. And the patient's effect um, is pointing to patience as confidence in an expected outcome. And there was also a correlation to high levels or healthy levels of serotonin. But the serotonin levels were not the only thing that was needed. They needed the confidence in an expected outcome to have patience. And this was around the mice eating their food and whether they were patient to eat it or impatient. And yeah, their serotonin levels were being manipulated. Anyway, this patience effect got me thinking about confidence in an expected outcome. And there are a few things in my life, probably more than a few, but just consciously right now that I'm thinking of that I don't know the outcome. There's kind of a lot of question marks. For one, creating my music, right? There's not a guarantee that if I record a song, everybody's going to love it. Or there's not a guarantee that I can properly record a song in the way that I want to. Is it likely that I could eventually do that? Yes. But in my mind, what I believe is that it's kind of unknown right now. It's unknown whether it will make me money. Does that matter? I don't know. Sometimes it does to me and sometimes it doesn't. But there's a lot of unknowns about this outcome. And I've noticed I am impatient around this process. I'm like, well, maybe I should just like record it and get it out because I've been saying it for so long. And, I'm impatient with myself and I'm impatient with the process. And like, why can't I just do this? It's not that hard. Da, 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 all of that mind chatter that just drives us crazy. And I realize is that there is not that much confidence I have in either my process or myself or the outcome right now. And so I've just been thinking a lot about that. And maybe you can think about a situation in your life where you're just feeling like, yeah, I'm not feeling that confident about the outcome. Maybe that's why I'm impatient. And so, are there ways that you could generate more confidence around an outcome? Ask better questions, do more research, understand the probability of something? Or is it a matter of really embracing the unknown and getting completely immersed in the process and being okay with the process being the point, and then whatever comes from it or of it is actually bonus and like a cherry on top, but it wasn't the point. So you have options, right? And I think it just depends on what it is and how you're feeling and kind of what your goal is. But if we look at impatience from that lens, it gives us like a better idea of next steps, how we can, drop our obsession with the outcome, or maybe we can help ourselves define the outcome a little bit better, right? I often find too that I'm impatient when I'm focusing on what is not true or what's not important at all. I am going to bring back the example of me sitting down to do this solo episode about 5 or 6 times and being so impatient with my messing up and not recording and babbling in a way that isn't coherent and all of that. And I can absolutely tell you that I was distracted. I had my phone next to me. In between things, I was looking at my phone, I was checking email, I was on Slack, I was looking at Instagram. And so I feel like my mind was literally pulled in those 5 different directions, and I'm not focused on the task at hand. So inevitably, this, you know, this total breaking up of the focus creates an impatience. Like, no wonder. No wonder. It's like it feels very obvious to say, but I'm like, yeah, if I'm not focused on what I'm doing and what I intend to do, and thus I make mistakes because I'm not focused, yes, I'm going to get impatient. And so we can really reverse engineer in those moments. If we notice, like, oh, yeah, I'm actually not focused on what I'm doing, or I'm focused more on what's not true about this, or what I don't know for sure. No wonder I am becoming impatient, uncomfortable, right? So this doesn't have to be, a fight with your impatience. This can really be a pull up and out of the heightened emotion and reverse engineering what's really happening rather than blaming yourself. I've also found myself to be impatient when I have lost compassion for myself and for others. Um, I really believe that I do believe that patience is a virtue, but I do believe that patience is a part and a quality of who we really are in our innate nature. And we just forget. We forget that it is a part of our heart, a part of the love that we have the capacity to have for ourselves and others all the time. And so, anytime I'm impatient, I really ask myself slash just am aware of like, okay, where's the love? Where did I lose the plot on this? You know, it kind of it stuns me sometimes, like when I've kind of slipped into a more impatient pattern because I know that, oh man, I'm not having compassion for another person, especially if it's directed towards other people. So that's a that's a note that this particular point is associated with impatience with people. It's like, man, I love to assume that everyone is doing their best with what they know and what they got going on. And when I forget that and I blame others for my heightened emotion or I blame myself, I've really just I've lost the compassion. And so if I can reverse engineer again, like, okay, how can I find more love in this moment? How can I look at this other person or look at myself with a bit more love and compassion, understanding? And it just takes pausing. It takes awareness, maybe some breath. But it's really really effective because it's like, how do you want to feel in this moment? Do you really want to be in your impatience and your frustration and just that tightened, constricted, contracted feeling in your body? No, probably not. So, can we just take a moment and evaluate what's really going on? It takes work. This is literally a practice. This is a verb. I want to walk us through, what we can do in these moments of intense impatience. Okay. Um, I know we experience them both in these instant, momentary experiences where it's just kind of like the daily rubbing up against us that brings us to this impatient state. But then also it's our minds that create this lag, this lack between where we are now, who we are now, what we have now, and where we want to go, who we want to be, and what we want to have. And I just want to walk us through some things that we can start to think about in those moments. I first want to start with those momentary, like in the moment, oh my God, this is bothering the shit out of me moments. I want to go there. Okay, say that you are you have to make dinner for your family, but you have nothing in the house. It's 5 o'clock. You just got home from work and you're like, shit. And I don't want to order dinner because it's just a waste of money on food that's like cooked in bad oils. So I'm going to go to the grocery store, but I'm so tired. And okay, but I love my family and I want to cook an amazing dinner for them, or at least just feed them, right? So you get to the grocery store, the line is bananas. It's like out the door, it's insane. And immediately it's like you're hot fire flames. Like your skin turns red. It is so frustrating. Your initial reaction is to walk out, to throw your arms up, to be like, this is ridiculous. Okay, understandable, right? Like you can understand that. And is that really the experience you want to have? Is that uh the messages that you want to send to other people, to your family, for the rest of the night, to your body? Like the body really absorbs those fight or flight reactions, and that's really what they are. Impatience in this moment is really the fight component of the fight or flight response. And the amygdala in the brain is responsible for this. It's like this little almond shaped set of like nervous tissue in your brain, and it susses out the threats, whether they are a threat to you or not. And then it regulates emotions. And so when you see that big long line and you're like, fuck, no, like I can't feed my family tonight, like it kind of feels like a threat. And so, your amygdala reacts and it's just, I'm done with this, and you're unable to really bring yourself to an objective state in the moment unless you're aware, where you can be like, okay, let me take a step back, right? So, first, let's identify the trigger. What about this is triggering you? And in the moment, it might be like, I have compassion for myself because I've had such a long day and work was hard today. And then I got home and there's no food in the fridge and I'm like frustrated that I didn't think ahead or my partner didn't think about, getting groceries for the week ahead. And um, it really bothers me that I kind of came to this place of going shopping at 5 p.m. to like cook for my family. And it's triggering me because like, am I Am I an inadequate mom? Am I, is this something I always do and I'm ashamed? So let's get to the heart of the trigger because it's not the line at the grocery store. Okay. Right. And then we want to identify like what we're saying about this to ourselves. What are we saying about this to ourselves? So what are you telling yourself about the situation? Maybe it's like, I cannot be bothered with this line. I got to get home. Like, oh, now I can't feed my family. Um, then you can really, okay, you're hearing what you're saying about it. Can you, in hearing what you're saying about it, then quickly pivot and offer yourself a soothing mantra or affirmation or truth, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, I'm in no rush. You know, people can eat at 7:30 tonight. It's all good. I I'm an incredible mom who's going the extra mile to feed her family an amazing meal tonight, right? The idea is to take a step back from the situation and try to get as objective as you can. But like it doesn't negate the inconvenience of what's happening. It's just getting really real, practical, and objective. So you're not so in the emotion of it all. And you're not so in the loop thought of what you're telling yourself about the situation. Then, and maybe you're good after that, right? But if it still is a little murky, can you reframe what's happening and just kind of think about a bigger picture? Can you think about the bigger purpose here? And then if you're still feeling something, just know that this takes practice. Like I said in the beginning, like this is a verb, this is a practice. You got to practice patience, y'all. Like, are you going to run a marathon and not train for it and think you're going to do well? Are you just going to wish yourself into patience, hoping that you just get it? No, you're going to practice it. In fact, like, I highly recommend calling in experiences that help you to practice patience and see what happens. Oh, Lord, you're going to get good real quick. They'll come flooding in. You'll be like, okay, 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 stop. But truly, this takes practice. This takes a lot of practice. And remember that in the practicing of patience, we must have patience with the process of all of this. We're like, again, so horny for quickness. Be very reasonable with your progress and your own process. Just know that your awareness is the goal. Awareness is the point. If you can live and be in your life, still get triggered, still get impatient, but be aware and walk yourself through steps like this, oh my gosh, glorious. Like you're doing it. So let's start to celebrate that rather than be so hung up on the perfect product of the process that we're in. How do we feel? Impatient? Patient? I just want to close with just, I think it's an intention for my own life, but if it lands for you, so be it. But I just, I really, truly want to honor the timing of my life and where I'm situated in my life at any given point. I think the uncomfortable emotions make it easy to want to wiggle out of it and wish for something else. But if I look back on my life, I know that every moment, every experience, every place I was in, anyone who I was with, anything that I was going through was such an important experience for me to have in order to be where I am today. And I know that where I am today and those sticky points, those points of impatience, and the call to practice patience and be where I am and move through it, not rush through it, is purposeful too. And so my intention is to slow down enough that I really understand that. My intention is to honor the natural cadence of the unfolding of me, of my life, of my talents, of what I'm sharing with the world, and not get so frustrated because I'm stuck comparing to other people or comparing to what I see on Instagram. It's like, and it's funny that I'm even still saying that because I have an awareness of it, but it still is a thing. And my intention is to be so connected to my body, so connected to the messages of my body that I'm able to get to the root of any heightened emotion, especially impatience, quickly, swiftly, and powerfully, and be able to take the charge from the person that my impatience is directed at, or the experience, or the thing, or the situation, and really come back to, oh, what am I bringing to this? What can I be incredibly responsible for right now? And how can I take back my power? Because the person, the situation, the thing, the experience has all the power right now. So, how can I take it back? They probably don't want that power, right? Yeah, I actually feel better, feel less impatient. If you are looking for skincare that is backed by a 5,000-year-old science that will help your skin to feel radiant, that will help your skin to be the healthiest it's ever been, that will promote longevity, I highly recommend checking out Sahajan. This is an incredible brand that has put the ancient science of Ayurveda at the center of all of their products. And there is a buzz in the beauty world about this brand, how they're really changing the way we do skincare. They really deliver a beautiful, approachable, effective product line that I think you're going to love. I wanted to share some of my favorites from this brand. So I absolutely love the Radiance eye cream. So the Radiance eye cream I use every single morning under my eyes. I have a little darkness and a little dullness. I don't know if y'all experience that where it's kind of dry and dull, but this Radiance eye cream, yo, this is like holy grail type stuff. It really treats the delicate skin around the eye. It has triphala in it, which is a free radical fighting blend of three fruits. And it also has antioxidant rich neem oil along with niacinamide, which is vitamin B3. And it just leaves my eyes so freaking bright. Another one that I really love is the Golden Milk Cleanser. So this really deeply purifies and detoxifies my skin. So especially on days where I'm wearing makeup, all the things, this leaves my skin clear and glowing. Sahajan created this golden milk cleanser. Super rich in turmeric to brighten and improve the skin's texture. It also has black cumin seed oil to unclog pores and help fade hyperpigmentation. It has an oat milk base and it just doesn't strip your skin. I don't know if you've ever used cleansers that strip your skin. Join the club, but not anymore. This is really nourishing for the skin. Y'all, you're going to have a blast checking out their products. I literally create just such a ritual using Sahajan products. So For our listeners, as always, we got you 20% off when you go to sahajan.com. That's SAHAJAN.com. Use the code almost30 for 20% off. Sahajan.com. Use the code almost30 for 20% off. I don't know if any of you just get bored with what you make yourself to eat on a daily basis, but you deserve to have pleasure and abundance and variety in your meals. And I highly recommend Sakara. You get nutrient dense meals, snacks, and supplements that will nourish your body, and you're not going to sacrifice taste. I promise you. I really, really love these nutritionally designed chef crafted breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. They're made with powerful plant based ingredients. I've noticed an improvement in my energy, digestion. It's curved my sugar cravings. And honestly, it has gotten my skin glowing because we all know it starts from the inside out. Best of all, it's delivered right to my door. Plus, they have the Sakara shop, which is stocked with functional plant rich products and wellness essentials to help you create a body you feel strong and vibrant in. I actually just ordered for myself and a few gifts the popcorn trio, the superfood popcorn trio, baby. It's a good one. They also have a granola I love. You're going to love the shop as well. So whether you're looking for meals or snacks, Sakara's got you. And right now, Sakara is offering our listeners 20% off their first order when you go to sakara.com/almost Sakara or enter code almost Sakara at checkout. That's SAKARA.com/almost Sakara to get 20% off your first order, or you can use the code almost Sakara at checkout. Enjoy. Thank you for allowing me to share. And wherever you are in your life, just notice where there's this ache for where you're not yet, for what you don't have yet, for who you've yet to become. And is there something now, in the now, that you can really adore and revere and honor with that energy that you've been putting in the future? And see how it makes you feel. That's my challenge for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being you, for being in your process. Thank you for witnessing my own process. I appreciate you. This is a simple concept today. One I know that you might have been like, patience, okay, whatever. But I hope just breaking it down like we did today just helps you to slow down and really take back control of what's going on. All right, y'all. I love you. See you on the next one. To connect with me on Instagram, you can DM me at Lindsey Simsick. Feel free to message me. I am in there. Learn more about Almost 30, almost30.com. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, Almost 30 Podcast. We appreciate your listenership, your support, your love, your commitment to you. It means everything to us and it inspires what we do. All right, I'll see you soon.